You're fired! Get out of my building!
Did he just?
My name is Emma, and 5 minutes after my CEO humiliated me in front of the entire company, he wished he had never learned my name. That Monday morning started like every other. I pushed my cleaning cart across the executive floor of one of New York City's most successful technology companies. Most employees walked past me without a glance. Some smiled politely, but most acted as if I were invisible. I didn't mind. People are always honest around someone they don't think matters. And that's exactly why I was there. Outside the executive boardroom, I carefully mopped the marble floor and placed a bright yellow caution. Wet floor sign where everyone could see it. The board meeting had just ended when Richard Lawson, our powerful CEO, stormed through the doors surrounded by executives. He was yelling into his phone, waving expensive documents in the air, and not paying attention to where he was walking. His polished Italian shoes slid across the wet floor. He caught himself before falling. Instead of admitting his mistake, he spun toward me with anger burning across his face. What kind of idiot cleaned this floor? The hallway instantly fell silent. Dozens of employees turned to watch. I'm sorry, sir, I said quietly. The warning sign was right beside you. Richard looked at the sign. Then, in front of everyone, he kicked it across the hallway. Don't argue with me. A few executives laughed. One whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. She's just a cleaner. Richard took another step toward me. People like you should feel grateful you're allowed in this building. The laughter grew louder. I could feel every pair of eyes on me. My cheeks burned with embarrassment. For a moment, I almost cried. But instead, I looked at my watch. 5 minutes. That's all I needed. Richard shook his head and walked back into the boardroom, still laughing with the executives who followed him. None of them noticed the small smile that crossed my face. Because this wasn't an ordinary workday. It was the day the truth would finally come out. Exactly 5 minutes later, every executive's phone buzzed at the same time. Emergency board session. All executives remain inside. The room fell silent. Richard frowned. What is this? Before anyone could answer, the boardroom doors opened. The company's founder walked in. Behind him came the chairwoman of the board, 2 independent auditors, corporate attorneys, and federal investigators. Then, I walked in behind them, still wearing my cleaning uniform. Richard laughed nervously. I think security brought the wrong employee. No one smiled. The founder looked directly at him. No, Richard. She's the most important person in this room. You could hear people stop breathing. Richard stared at me. The founder continued. Everyone meet Emma Carter. For the last 7 months, Emma has been leading our confidential ethics investigation. The room exploded with whispers. Richard looked completely confused. The cleaner. The founder nodded. Exactly. Because no one notices the person holding the mop. He turned toward the board. While executives ignored her, they spoke freely in front of her. They signed documents on desks she cleaned. They discussed illegal deals while she emptied their trash. They underestimated the only person who was actually paying attention. The lead auditor opened a thick binder. Our investigation uncovered evidence of fraud, intimidation, retaliation against employees, falsified financial reports, and the theft of over $38 million. Richard's face turned white. His hands began to shake. He slowly looked at me. You recorded all of it? I answered calmly. I didn't have to. You left enough evidence all by yourself. The board chairwoman pushed a single envelope across the table. Richard Lawson. By unanimous vote. You are removed as CEO. Effective immediately. Before he could respond, federal investigators stepped forward. Mr. Lawson, you're also under criminal investigation. For the first time in years, Richard Lawson had nothing to say. Security escorted him toward the exit. Halfway to the door, he stopped beside me. His voice was barely a whisper. I'm sorry, Emma. I looked into his eyes. The same eyes that had looked down on me only minutes earlier. Then I gave him the only answer he deserved. No. He blinked. You're not sorry for humiliating a cleaner. You're sorry you discovered that respect can't be measured by a job title. The room stayed completely silent. Nobody defended him. Nobody laughed. Nobody even looked at him. He walked out alone. That afternoon, every employee gathered in the company atrium. The founder stepped onto the stage beside me. He smiled proudly. Today, Emma reminded every one of us that integrity is the most valuable position in any company. He turned toward me. Effective immediately, Emma Carter is our new director of corporate ethics. The building erupted into applause. Employees who had ignored me that morning stood on their feet. Some cried. Others apologized for judging me because of my uniform. I accepted every apology, not because they erased the past, but because kindness should never depend on someone's position. As I walked out of the building that evening, still wearing the same cleaning uniform, I realized something that changed my life forever. Power can make people feel important. Money can make people feel superior. A title can make people feel untouchable. But character is the only thing people remember when everything else is taken away. And Richard Lawson learned that lesson 5 minutes too late.